Hello everyone. So in this episode, I want to kind of shift gears for a little bit and just talk about something that's been on my heart lately. So all through our lives, we go through some kind of struggle, whether it's with of lost a family member or some kind of sickness or something. And of course, there's some people that struggle more than others, and but we all go through it. And the world tells us how there's certain ways how we should handle this pain and struggle and all that, and it's oftentimes very wrong. And the Bible actually has ways that we, as Christians, should handle this. So in this episode, I want to talk about how we as followers of Christ should handle struggle and pain and all that. And plus, I want to get just kind of and just realize in this chaotic world that God is still in control and that we should put our full trust in Him. And I will get to all of it. My name is Sean Clinton, and this is the God and Freedom Show. Alright, I hope one has had a great week so far. We had a good bit to get to, so let's not waste any time. And it's it's kind of different to not deal with how to actually have to go find just certain news stories to get whatever, but it's definitely different, but this should be pretty good. So like I said, we all go through some kind of struggle in our lives that causes some kind of pain in our hearts or whatever. Yes, actually very recently I lost my grandmother, and it's been hard. I mean, it's been about a month so far, so it's like I haven't gotten over it better really, but it's gotten better. But it's definitely during that first initial week, whatever, it was definitely hard. And it's like just lately, just been not just with me, but just my family, but just all around the community all around just has been just the entire country or entire world. It's just been so much crap happening. At my church, my pastor's daughter was diagnosed with cystic fibrosis, which is something that affects your lungs and digestive system. And just things like that. There was someone in my college small group that was in a car accident the other day. So it's just little things like that. It just comes and goes that causes they just cause so much pain and all that. And of course, the world will tell us how we should handle this, and the ways they say we should handle this is by going kind of get our minds off it, going out to the bar and getting drunk, whatever, or go out pottering, whatever, or whatever. But of course, that's not how we should handle it at all. That's not how God commands us to handle that very struggle. And there's also this temptation to question during the midst of pain, to question why, ask God, why does this happen? Why does this happen to me? What did I do? And all that. And it's people often say, even some Christians would say, that's all right. We can do that. That's all right if we do that, because God is big boy. He can handle it. Well, He may be able to handle it well, but it's wrong either way. Look at it like this. I actually have an example. Of course, we all know the story of Job. Job was a follower, a very religious person who went through a lot. He lost his children, lost belongings, or not belongings, but lost wealth. Got very sick, had sores over his body, just all kinds of stuff. And in the midst of all of that, he at one point was it Job 13? Job 13 is verses 22 to 25 or whatever. And here's what he has said to God. Now summon me, and I will answer, or let me speak to you, and you will reply. Tell me, what have I done wrong? Show me my rebellion and my sin. Why do you turn away from me? Why do you treat me as your enemy? Would you terrify a leaf, blown by the wind, we just chase a dry straw. Especially, he's asking on like, why am I going through this? Why did you do this to me? To which, of course, God replies in Job 38. To get to it. And here's what he said to Job. Then the Lord answered Job in front of the whirlwind. Who is this who quotes my wisdom with such ignorant words? Brace yourself like a man, because I have some questions for you, and you must answer them. Where were you when I laid the foundations of the earth? Tell me if you know so much. If you know so much, who determined its dimensions and stretched out the surveying line? What supports its foundations, and who laid its cornerstone, as the morning stars sang together and all the angels shouted for joy? Who kept the sea inside its boundaries, as it burst from the womb, as I clothed it with clouds and wrapped it in a thick darkness? For I locked it behind barred gates and limited its shores. I said, this is far, and no farther will you come. Here your proud ways must stop. Have you ever commanded the morning to appear and cause the dawn to rise in the east? Have you made daylight spread to the ends of the earth, and to bring an end to the night's wickedness? As the light approaches, the earth takes shape like clay pressed beneath the seal. It is robed in brilliant colors. The light disturbs the wicked and stops the arm that is raised in violence. Have you explored the springs from which the seas come? Have you explored the depths? Do you know where the gates of death are located? Have you seen the gates of utter gloom? Do you realize the extent of the earth? Tell me about it if you know. So, I mean, it basically goes on like that. Like, basically, like, God, like, telling Job, like, alright, like, at what authority do you have to question him? Which is exactly right. I mean, on what grounds do, like, we as, like, flawed, sinful human beings, on what grounds do we have the right to question God for anything? I mean, He created, like, everything, the sea, you know, the ground, the land, animals, us. And, like, what have we done compared to that? Seriously. So, I mean, so it comes back, like, what right do we have to question Him? And the short answer, we don't. Again, we're, like, flawed, sinful human beings. So, so we have, like, absolutely no right whatsoever to question, you know, God's authority or anything. And question, like, why He does stuff. Because His knowledge is above ours. Way above ours. So people who say, you know, it's alright that if we do that, they're completely wrong. He may be able to handle it just fine, but it's wrong either way. And just, you know, thank God for His, like, grace and all that, because sometimes we as human beings, like, often, like, wonder, you know, we, like, deal with people on a regular basis, and, like, some difficult people, whatever, and, like, we have, like, some people have very limited patience with some people, but, like, with with God, like, He has, like, unlimited patience with us. Like, just the amount of, like, crap we, like, give Him often, like, just, you gotta thank Him for His grace and mercy and all that, and for sending Jesus. I mean, you gotta really thank Him for that. But anyways, like I say, there's ways that we as followers of Christ and all that should handle this. And of course, biggest way to that is, go cry out to God. Not ask Him, like, why, just, go, talk to Him like your friend and let Him, like, comfort you and all that. Because, in the midst of our struggles and all that, He's with us. Always. I mean, that says in Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, or plans to give you hope in a future. And that just basically, tells us, despite like any hardships we go through, I mean, God has a plan for us, and we didn't know that yet, but He will guide us to that, to achieve that plan and all that. We all have a purpose here on earth, and He will guide us to that purpose. And also in Psalms 34:18, the Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in the spirit. And Psalms 147:3, He heals the brokenhearted and He binds up their wounds. It's basically what they're saying. It's like when in times of brokenheartedness, like when they lost a family member or whatever, it's like He's the one that will like heal the wounds in our hearts, and He will like be with us all throughout our grieving process. So with that in mind, like why exactly do we need to go to like something like alcohol or whatever to bind up those wounds? And the short answer, we don't, because those are just temporary. I mean, all it does is really like, so if you have like an old coffee mug, whatever, for example, just use a coffee mug, and that represents your heart. And say if something tragic happens in your life, so something like a lost family member, for example, there's a crack and it breaks, and then you can try to take that piece and glue it back together. And that would, like, for example, be like if you were to like use like alcohol or something along those lines, something worldly, to try to heal those wounds in your heart. I mean, it might fix it for a little bit, but there's still cracks in it, and then it could still break off, and there's still other cracks that form from that first crack. But with God, and once you become a follower of Christ and all that, and you like go to Him in times of your struggle and pain, He doesn't instead of like fixing, like gluing it a piece back together completely, He completely just like takes that and makes it new. And so like you basically throw away that coffee mug and buying a whole brand new one that's like just brand new. And that just a big representation of how, or I mean, not just in time of struggle, but how we as Christians become once we surrender our lives to Christ. And that's why we should also turn to Him in times of struggle, because that's what He would do. He'd give us, like, heal our hearts the right way, and not just through means by the worldly standard. Yeah. And as Christians as well, there is a hope for because at some point in the future, we won't have to deal with all this. There'll be, as it says in Revelation, He will wipe away every tear from their eyes. There will be no more pain, no more death, or mourning, or crying, or pain, for the old order of things has passed away. It's basically saying like all the evil in the world would like disappear when Christ, when rapture happens and Christ returns. So I mean, of course, yeah, there's great hope in that, but that doesn't mean sorry. But while we're here, like oh crap. Alright, sorry about that little kind of mix up right there. I meant to pause it, but I also didn't. But anyways, in the midst of our struggle and just how we should handle our pain, we should also realize that there is something good that will always come from it. God's glory will always shine. For example, of my college small group, a couple weeks back, there was this lady that just came out of our Starbucks who was kind of frustrated with the customer service there, but that's another thing. But she had been dealing with some kind of pain in her leg, some kind of vein thing, problem, whatever. So me and our group decided to go up and pray for her and all that. And just this past Wednesday, she came up to us at Starbucks and told us that 30 minutes after she felt no more pain in her legs or anything. And that was evident because the couple weeks back on that Wednesday when we prayed for her, she was actually limping to get down, like even off a simple curve. Like you can tell that she was feeling some kind of pain. But this week, she was like walking normally. So I mean, that's awesome. Like to see. I mean, thank God she doesn't have to go through that pain anymore, and it was mind-boggling just to see that. And it's not the first time that something like that has happened. As I told y'all a couple weeks back, my friend who's also in the small group has this buddy, and his wife had colon cancer, and he went up to the hospital or their home to pray for her. And about a month later, she had no more cancer in her body. Like she had stage 3 colon cancer, and it was all gone. All she had was surgery, but it was all healed. And you gotta think, stage 3 is pretty far, and his colon cancer is pretty dangerous too. And just the fact that there was no more is it's evident that God heals, and there's miracles that do happen. It's just amazing, and just like there's so many little things and the surrounding us that so many things around us that so many little things that happen like that around us. It's just so cool to see. And stuff like that happens in the Bible too, obviously. And for a prime example, in John chapter 9, if I can get to it. Sorry. John chapter 9, where Jesus heals the blind man who actually born blind. And here's what it says. As Jesus was walking along, he saw a man who had been blind from birth. Rabbi, his disciples asked, why was this man born blind? Was it because of his own sins or his parents' sins? Which that's something like kind of the prosperity. It's got someone who follows the kind of prosperity gospel was say that's why we go through struggles, we're not praying hard enough, or we did something to deserve all that, but that's simply not true. And here's what Jesus says in response to that. It was not because of his sins or the sins of his parents. This happened so the power of God could be seen in him. We must quickly carry out the task assigned us by the one who sent us. The night is coming, and then no one can work. But while here in the world, I am the light of the world. So basically, what he's saying there is basically like some things would happen, like we get someone to get cancer, or just even the death, famine, or whatever. Even in the midst of all that, God's glory, that happens because so God's glory can shine. And we may not really understand it at the time because, again, we don't know the knowledge of God. But that's like simple answer. Like stuff like that happens so his glory can shine. And that's evident to what I've seen personally. So in the midst of all that, just all this chaos and whatever, just it's just easy to kind of where we're going. I know. It's just easy for us to kind of like just forget that God is still in control of everything. We live in a very chaotic world, which so all kinds of things happen around the world. But again, God was, and still in control. And as it says in Psalms 103:19, the Lord has made the heavens heaven's his throne. From there, he rules over everything, and that means in Romans 8:28. And we know that God causes everything to work together for the good of those who love God and are called according to His purpose. And that just again, it just signifies that God is in control of pretty much everything, and so with that in mind, why do we need to worry about such things? And short answer, we really shouldn't. Of course, we're not all perfect for that. I'm not perfect for that. But, that's something we just need to work on. We need to just, trust God and just realize that He is in control of everything. And of course, as for we as Christians, we, just for sharing our faith, whatever, we will, suffer rejection and, pain and all that because we follow Christ. There become a point, in America, I think, where we might get arrested or killed for our faith. But Jesus said that would happen. But that shouldn't stop us from doing what Jesus commanded us in Matthew. In Matthew 28:19, therefore go make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. Teach these new disciples to obey all commands I have given you, and be sure of this: I am with you always, even to the end of the age. So again, in the midst of when we struggle or suffer for Christ, He is still with us, and that just and that goes beyond that all that. So yeah, I think that's all about have for today. So yeah, I'll be back here on next Wednesday with whatever crazy news hits next week. We might actually get the actual Mueller report come out. So yeah, if it does, we'll see mass chaos. So I'll see y'all then. Hope everyone has a great weekend. My name is Sean Clinton, and this is the God and Freedom Show.